Disabled people of Reddit, what is something we do that we think helps, but it really doesn't? I have cerebral palsy. I love when people help me, but please always ask first. And if I say, no thanks, I've got it, then go on with your day. Or better yet, strike up a conversation. I had a friend when I was little with CP. I knew she was different and I loved to help her out when she needed it, but she was still human. So it always bothered me when the other kids would fight over who was going to take care of her that day. They never seemed to talk with her but rather at her and treat her like a baby. It was like arguing over the class pet . People who are hard of hearing are unable to hear certain frequencies very well. It varies, obviously, but yelling at them is rude and doesn't work at all. Speak normally first, then allow the person to ask for clarification. If they do, speak a tad slower and maybe with a deeper voice. Usually it's higher frequencies that go first. I didn't know about the deeper voice. Thank you. A friend of mine who is wheelchair bound told us how people constantly offer to push her to her destination, and oftentimes go to start push her along. One person said, I'm helping, as he started pushing her in her chair. She yelled back, no, you're kidnapping. He stopped. It's like just randomly picking up an unwilling stranger and carrying them while insisting you're helping. I have a brain and spine disorder, and when I was 9 I had a major surgery on my brain. For the first couple of years afterwards I had a hard time standing walking for long periods of time. My mom, being the awesome person that she is, got me an electric scooter for when we go shopping to the mall. Well, on my first time out with it, multiple things happened which resulted in me never wanting to use it again. I had 2 cashiers and a door greeter tell me to stop playing on someone's scooter, and even stopped me and told me to get up. This one lady stopped, began crying, and hugged me into her arms and wouldn't stop talking about how I was so brave and so strong. Multiple older people in their own scooters giving me dirty looks, and one even saying that I shouldn't be mocking them. These may seem petty, but it was really a turn off for me to ever want to use it again. My mom has MIS. She has a handicapped parking placard. More than once she would park and someone there would decide to berate her for parking in the spot when she clearly doesn't need it. The duress this caused her on top of having MIS is ridiculous. I hate humanity. Not sure if I count, but I'm epileptic. Not that I'm conscious when it's happening, but if I am having a seizure, don't hold my tongue. It isn't going down my throat. That's impossible. I'm gonna bite down pretty hard, but that's about it. Best thing you can do when someone is having a seizure is lie them down and make sure they don't hit their head. Can't enforce this enough. A good friend passed away recently not due to an epileptic seizure, but the desk that his head came in contact with on the way down. It was terrible. Always be more concerned with surroundings than the biting the tongue thing. I have a cane and a service dog. If my dog is tripping the frick out and not letting you near me, it's because I'm having a panic attack or something similar. He's not poorly trained. He's trying to give me space. Go the frick away. I have 3 curves in my spine because I have scoliosis. Sometimes I opt out of doing things because it's going to set my back ablaze with pain. Whenever I mention it, I'm always told that I'm too young to have back pain. I'm 25. It pisses me the frick off. Just because I'm young doesn't mean I'm immune to pain, you frick T. I have a mild form of spina bifida and scoliosis, and have been suffering from serious back pain since I was about 13. It's amazing how many people think that I'm just making it up, and the fact that they'll say it to my face makes it just that much worse. Not disabled, but coming from someone who wears oxygen tubes in her nose, don't freak out if I take out my oxygen tubes. I know what's okay for me to do. If I was going to die, I obviously wouldn't take them out. It's not a disability, but it is a chronic illness that sucks. I have psoriasis and arthritis due to it, and I am only 24. I get what's on your arm, or whatever body part. Is that poison ivy? Does that hurt? What's wrong with you on almost a daily basis? You should try this lotion. I assure you that my skin problems are beyond just needing lotion. I have constant pain in my joints and especially my lower back. I hate when people say things like you can't have arthritis. You're so young. Growing up with this, I have learned to try and not let people's comments affect my mood too much, but sometimes people just really hurt my feelings. You're too young to be in that much pain, yeah, whatever. My fricked up joints don't care if I'm 18 or 80. I feel you, man. Give me advice on how to live my life. The same is true for everyone, but it's annoying to hear my cousin had that and they. Cool, I don't want to hear it. I don't mind useful advice, but it hardly ever is. Suggesting I get a shower chair so I can sit down quickly and safely if my legs start to give out or my blood pressure drops suddenly. That's actually helpful. But most of the time the advice is about fixing me instead of making things easier to live the life I actually have. Worst thing to do if I disclose to you that I have MS? Tell me you don't look sick. Or you look great though. Even worse, I told someone my arm was literally tingly and numb all the time and they said, oh yay, that happens to me too. Number. No it doesn't. Being 25 and having to ask your mom to cut your meat because you can't hold a fork and knife is a mighty crappy feeling. As far as MS goes, I'm lucky with my symptoms and they aren't and haven't been severe since I was diagnosed. But I still have days where I feel like people might not believe me when I say I feel like crap, or that I know it's only 70 degrees out but that's too warm for me to be outside in the sun all day. From a mental disabilities perspective, telling us it's all in our head and we should just calm down can be really irritating to hear. Sure, it's all in our head, but that's because it's a neurological disorder, one which we clearly have no control over. All I can visualize now is someone in a wheelchair being told it's all in their legs. I don't have a license to call myself disabled because, well, I just never really felt the urge. But I have a medically diagnosed serious hearing loss in my right ear due to a birth defect. I can only hear about 40% out of it. My left ear is good to go, but my right ear is dog shit. If you're on my right side and trying to talk to me, you're gonna have a bad time. My wife, sister, mother, friends, co-workers, pretty much every freaking body seems to think getting annoyed, huffing, rolling their eyes, yelling never mind at me when I ask them to repeat themselves often is going to make me see the light and realize I should learn to hear better. I have this exact issue, same side and everything. People treating you like your butthole for politely asking them to repeat themselves is enough to drive someone to murder. That was how my crappy siblings tortured me as a child, and I still hold a grudge. If someone politely asks you to repeat yourself, be a decent human being, and kindly repeat what you said. My partner is disabled, but not obviously visibly. Staring up and down at him trying to figure out what's wrong? Not helpful. Suggesting you look fine. Try this thing you've said you can't do? Not helpful. Our first flat together was heck to find. I literally showed one letting agent where on a map was within a manageable distance for us, and said it needed to be ground floor on a flat street. Literally looks my so up and down, then suggests a place outside the area I showed him, at the top of a hill on the first floor. But it's only a few minutes outside what you suggested, and look at him, he's fine. Took every inch of my self-restraint to walk out without another word rather than punching the guy or shouting him down. My mum, who is in a wheelchair, has answered when her disability is the only topic of conversation and people won't shut up about it. I forgot to mention, and when people talk over you. I'm the sibling of a disabled person. If you tell me God does everything for a reason, I'll break your goddamned nose for a good reason. I have bipolar disorder. I don't tell many people, mostly because the stigmas are raging. Also because I don't like getting advice. No, a sun lamp will not pull me out of depression. No, melatonin will not bring me down from a manic state and help me sleep. When I feel anxious, I know full well that there is likely nothing to worry about, and pointing that out doesn't make me feel any better. Oh, and I know that I don't look like a crazy person. Thanks. I was told that a gluten-free diet would fix my bipolar. I was told that LSD would fix my bipolar disorder. I was told that an attitude change would fix my bipolar disorder. Currently, I have these pills that science has vetted which make it manageable. I don't need anything more. I told you as a courtesy. Kindly treat it that way. Talk about how that autism doesn't exist and it's either all in your head, or a scam made by drug companies to sell medication, when in reality, it is, and there are no drugs used to treat autism in the first place, respectively. Trying to push your fad diet on me like it's some sort of miracle cure. I have a hard enough time with food as is. I don't need to drink that smoothie that smells like a fish tank. After going through the comments, I feel like a complete douche. I've done some of these things, but I was only trying to be nice. I will starting thinking before doing from now on. I doubt anyone actually thinks this helps, but I'm on dialysis while I wait for a kidney transplant, and I've heard this a surprising amount. You have to do that 3 times a week? Whoa, I don't think I could live like that. You literally just told me that you don't think your life would be worth living if you had to do what I do. Opening the door when I'm already opening it. If I'm headed your way and you hold it open, that's one thing. But the people who insist on yanking the door out of someone's hands to help aren't really helping. Oftentimes I've already positioned myself so where I can open the door and roll into the room in one clean movement. But not I have to the shuffling around to get uncaught on the door that you just slammed into my wheels. Not to mention that I, and many other people with paraplegia quadriplegia, have crap foot trunk support balance, which can cause us to fall over when we lose control of the object we're supporting ourselves on. Oh, and the whole inspiration bulls. Got tired of that in point 5. I'm hearing impaired, or hard of hearing, as the deaf community prefers to put it, and here are my top peeves. Do not yell at top volume. Really painfully slow. Just like it isn't going to help a Spanish person understand the English you are speaking. It's going to make you look real stupid to me and everyone else we are around. It might work for you with grandma, but I'm not your granny. Face me so I can read your lips. Speak sharp and speak clear and be cool. In the same vein, I can't hear what you're saying if you are not looking at me. If I don't respond to something you say, chances are I didn't see you talking to me. A slight touch on the shoulder or a quick wave in my field of vision, or whatever you're comfortable with. Honestly, I've flat out told some of my friends to just throw something at me to get my attention if needed. As long as it's not a heavy book, it's all gravy. Caveat: if you snap your fingers in front of my face like a dog, you will lose fingers. Didn't your mama tell you never to frick with a strange deaf dog? Don't say that I'm brave or an inspiration, like other posters have mentioned. You have no idea what my life is like. I make bad choices just like you do, and I make good choices just like you do. I'm a little more resilient than others due to my hearing impairment. Sure, but that's about as far as it goes in terms of being an inspiration. I strive to be normal. I want to pay my bills, have coffee with my friends, be about my latest creepy date, and cry when my bank account hovers near insufficient funds, just like any other 26-year-old female in America. I don't want to be your inspiration. I want to be your next door neighbor, and I want to be left to my own devices. Please, on a lighter note, please do not be afraid to ask questions. As much as I say I want to be normal and treated as such, part of this is also being very open to any questions you're afraid to ask. It does not help me if you don't ask questions. Nothing is offensive. Trust me, I own the world cripple. Nothing phases me. Granted, it may not be the same for all other deaf people, but even on my grumpiest days, I have never, ever failed to stop and politely answer any questions about my disability. It just doesn't bother me. In my experience, the more people know about something novel like a disability, the more normal it becomes to them, and the more they see the individual in question as one of them. So please, ask away without hesitation. Say that happens to me too. I'm freaking betting it doesn't. Suggesting diets or remedies. Believe me, unless you are a researcher who specializes in my condition, you probably don't know more about treatments than me. I had friends with an incurable and very visible skin disease. Some random lady came up to them once and started telling them how if they saved their urine and bathed in it, it would cure them. I could not believe any person would have the gall and be classless enough to suggest something like that. Have you tried yoga? Insert X supplement is great for that. You know, you're so inspiring brave. You don't look disabled sick. If I had $1 for every time I heard the yoga don't look ones alone, I would have enough to at least buy myself a nice frickin' meal. I was on crutches for 9 months. Please don't go out of your way to help. If I'm right behind you holding the door is nice. If you get up from your desk and sprint halfway across the office to do it, I just feel like an butt. Besides, I got pretty kick butt at holding the door open with one crutch and crutch vaulting in. I have only one eye. Every so often, A young child will stare at me and or ask me what happened to my eye. Their parents will freak out, shush them, and hurry them away. Look, I already know I look different. I understand that your kid is curious. That's a good thing. Let me answer their questions. They can learn something and find out that I'm still a nice guy even though I look different. Don't make them feel afraid to talk to people who don't look exactly like them. Don't try to tell me that God or religion will cure me. If God wanted to cure me, he wouldn't have made me blind in the first place. I don't know if I actually qualify for disability. The paperwork honestly looks exhausting, but I have a chronic pain condition. Please don't tell me it's all in my head. Everything we experience through the brain. Of course it's in my head. That doesn't change the fact that my entire body, muscles, joints, bones, skin, tendons, etc. all hurt right now, and I can't do anything about it. All you're doing is patronizing me and it's bumming me out. Also, please don't tell me to take an aspirin, Tylenol or smoke pot. I've tried it. I've tried everything you can get OTC and everything homeopathy has to offer. If you've heard of something cool and brand new, though, feel free to tell me about it. My top 3 are: 1. Don't push my wheelchair anywhere. Don't even touch it, it's a serious invasion of space. 2. Don't bend down to my level to talk to me. I can hear you perfectly well, and it's incredibly demeaning. 3. Don't try to faith heal me. I can't believe this one even needs saying, but there have been several distinct occasions. What do you think you are fixing seriously? I wouldn't call it a disability exactly, but I have some form of Tourette syndrome that makes me full on scream at random. When people discover I have this condition, it usually gets received with an awkward "oh" and a few nervous glances. It makes people deeply uncomfortable when faced with something like this. They don't know how to handle it or what is considered appropriate. Many people just cringe and try to keep stumbling through a conversation, trying to pretend like I didn't just screech in their face. I know they have questions and I know they don't fully understand what's happening, but they don't ask in fear of offending me. It's just painful for both of us. This is a part of my life that I have been dealing with for years. I want people to be comfortable around me, and I want people to realize that you don't have to give things like this such a wide social berth. It's like people think that they cannot dare mention that amputated leg stump. The one they have to keep reminding themselves not to look at under any circumstance, lest its owner suddenly remember he doesn't have a right leg. Disabilities don't have to be the elephant in the room. For me, the best responses are from the people who can joke about it with me and laugh with me when either scream comes out sounding like an angry peacock in mating season, "You're curious how it feels, how often it happens," or my personal favorite, "Does it happen during sex? Good, ask me." I love questions. Questions show concern and interest, and that is, for me at least, infinitely more preferable than awkward tension. That's just how I feel, anyway. Things might be different for someone with an actual disability, so I can't speak for them. I have an autism spectrum disorder. You don't need to talk to me like I'm 5. I understand speech just fine. It's non-verbal cues I have trouble with. It's incredible really, how some people will talk to me normally until the second they find out I'm autistic and then suddenly they are treating me like a mentally challenged child. It's patronizing and obnoxious. Just talk to me like you would anyone else, and if I need something explained to me, I will ask. It's that simple. It's like there's this line dividing normal people from retards, and when you say you're autistic you step over that line. And if you can do anything at all, well, you're obviously a normal person who's deluded or faking. Looking at me like I'm crazy for not going into serious debt to pay for an operation or for hearing aids. Yes, there are charitable organizations that help with hearing aids, but they won't help you if you have a full-time job. We don't do credit because that's a fast road into losing everything. If I don't know you, do not touch me. Your caring hand on my shoulder makes me cringe. Leave me to my own devices. Thank you. If I tell you I'm disabled due to mental illness, don't try to convince me it's impossible to be disabled due to mental illness. Believe it or not, attempts to reassure me that it's all in my head or my problems aren't so bad are actually really crappy. You speak truth. Same issue here. Also, could people not tell me but you're too happy to have serious mental problems? I don't get many happy days, and that criticism always ends the rare ones I do have. What is something people can do that you do find helpful? Should we ignore like we'd ignore a non-disabled person? That's what I tend to do. Not in a rude way, but in an ignoring everyone equally kind of way. Although I'd love to be helpful if I weren't afraid it'd be insulting. Say something like, let's not park in the handicapped parking space today, you need to walk. Yeah, there is a reason I have a placard. Not me, but people close to me. Before you ask about scars, think about them. If it isn't easy to cover but looks neat and tidy, it's probably surgical. If someone has an easily visible surgical scar, don't be a jerk and ask about it until you actually get to know someone. And even then, don't pry. I never even thought this was necessary to say until I was told by people I was the outlier for not asking. I know a disabled guy. You two should hook up. Yes, let's base a relationship on our physical shortcomings. That will work perfectly. It's as rude as me saying I know a black Asian Mexican dude. You guys should hook up. I'm speaking on behalf of my husband, but stop suggesting we get a freaking handicapped parking placard. If he wanted to get one, he is aware of their existence and even how to obtain one. The fact that we never bothered to try and get it should tell you something. Both of our families give us this advice all of the time, and it's not helpful. When he has his bad days, miss, we know how to deal with it if he has to be in public and how to deal with parking and getting around. He can't work anymore and he has issues that we never thought we would be dealing with at the age of 34. So if he wants to keep a shred of his pride and dignity by being able to walk in a store no matter where we park, just freaking understand that and stop giving us that useless bit of advice. Post images of disabled people like the guy who finished the Boston Marathon last with a caption, "What's your excuse?" Just because one person with one particular disability does something amazing doesn't mean we're all fodder for the next inspirational internet meme or biopic. I tried to do laundry today, and the strength went out of my legs gave out before I even got downstairs to put the gathered laundry into the machine. 8 hours of bed rest later, and I'm still holding onto furniture to walk to the bathroom without falling. I have a prosthetic leg and when I get out of my vehicle in a handicapped parking stall, people look at me with disgust and say, "PFFFF, he's not even disabled." I pull up my pant leg and tell them to frick off. You should see them old ladies' faces. Priceless. The first thing I think to myself when talking to a disabled person is the question I am asking. Do they get asked this a lot? I feel bad for people with disabilities, not because they are disabled, but because they have to explain the same story to different people 2-3 times a day. The word handicappable. No, it's a freaking handicap. As if there are things that are harder for me to do or problems I have that cause a handicap. And saying handicappable takes away from the pride in overcoming them. This is just general advice. Never try to give a blind person a high five unless they put their hand up first. It's just embarrassing for all parties. Similar thing for handshakes unless it's a super obvious situation. Even then, it's probably better to say something like, "I'm shaking your hand," or "hands out," so they know. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.